Imagine for a moment that your entire life, every experience, every circumstance is but a reflection of your own consciousness. This is not mere philosophy, but the very fabric of our reality. You are not a powerless observer in this grand theater of life, but the author, director, and lead actor in your own divine play. The power to shape your reality lies not in some external force, but within the depths of your own imagination. Your thoughts, beliefs, and most importantly, the feelings you nurture within are the brushstrokes which you paint the masterpiece of your life. Consider the world around you, the chair you sit on, the room you occupy, the very device through which you're receiving this message. All of these were once mere ideas in someone's mind before they manifested into physical reality. If this is true for the objects around us, why should it not be true for the circumstances of our lives? The secret, my dear friends, lies in understanding that your imagination is not a flight of fancy of the very workshop of creation. When you imagine, you are engaging with the same creative power that brings forth universes. This power knows no limitations, no boundaries. It cares not for what society deems possible or impossible. It responds only to the conviction with which you hold an image in your mind. But here's where the 1% separate themselves from the rest. It's not enough to merely visualize or affirm your desires. The key lies in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must enter the state of consciousness where your desire is not a future possibility, but a present fact. Pause for a moment and think of something you deep desire. Now, instead of yearning for it, longing for it, close your eyes and imagine how you would feel if that desire were already fulfilled. What would you see? How would you carry yourself? What thoughts would occupy your mind? This, my friends, is the art of living from the end. The outer world, with all its seeming solidity, is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner states. Change the inner and the outer must follow. This is not wishful thinking, but a law as immutable as gravity. Just as an acorn contains within it the blueprint of a mighty oak, your imagination contains the seeds of your future reality. But why, you may ask, do so few people experience this power in their lives? The answer is simple yet profound. Most live their lives reacting to the world around them, allowing external sources to dictate their internal state. They are like leaves in the wind, blown about by every change in their environment. The 1% who attract this understanding into their lives have made a fundamental shift. They have realized that they are not leaves in the wind, but the wind itself. They have taken control of their inner world, carefully cultivating the states of consciousness that align with their desires. This is not a path for the faint of heart. It requires courage to turn away from the evidence of your senses when they contradict your desired reality. It demands persistence to maintain your chosen state, even when the outer world has yet to catch up. But for those who commit to this practice, the rewards are beyond measure. Consider for a moment the implications of this truth. If your consciousness is the source of your reality, then there is nothing that is truly impossible for you. The only limits that exist are those you accept in your mind. Your age, your background, your current circumstances, none of these have any power over you unless you grant it to them through your belief. The 1% who grasp this truth understand that they are not bound by their past, nor are they limited by their present. They know that in any given moment they have the power to choose a new state of consciousness, and in doing so to set in motion a new future. But let me be clear, this is not about positive thinking or mere wishful dreaming. This is about a fundamental reimagining of who you are and what you're capable of. It's about recognizing your true identity as a divine, creative being, temporarily expressing yourself in human form. When you truly internalize this understanding, your entire approach to life shifts. No longer do you beg and plead with an external God for your desires to be fulfilled. Instead, you recognize that the God power resides within you, waiting to be expressed through your imagination and faith. Faith in this context is not blind belief in an unseen future. It is the unwavering conviction in the reality of your imagined state. When you have true faith, you don't hope for your desire to manifest. You know with absolute certainty that it is already yours in the realm of imagination, which is the true substance of things. This knowing, this unshakable faith is what sets the 1% apart. They understand that the outer world may take time to reflect their new inner reality, but they refuse to be swayed by temporary appearances. They hold fast to their chosen state, knowing that the outer must inevitably conform to the inner. But here's a crucial point that many miss. This power is not given to you for mere material gain or ego gratification. While there's nothing inherently wrong with desiring material abundance or success, the true purpose of this power is far greater. It is given to you as a means of expressing your divine nature, of bringing heaven to earth, of creating a world that reflects the highest truth of who you are. The 1% who attract this understanding use their power responsibly. They understand that as they elevate their own consciousness, they elevate the consciousness of the entire world. Their desires align not just with their personal good, but with the good of all. Now, you might be wondering if this power is available to everyone. Why do only 1% seem to attract and embody this truth? The answer lies in the willingness to question everything you've been taught about the nature of reality. It requires the courage to step outside the collective mindset that sees humans as limited, powerless beings at the mercy of external forces. To join this 1%, you must be willing to test this law in your own life. Start with something small. Choose a state of consciousness that you would experience if a minor desire were fulfilled. Perhaps it's the feeling of having an unexpected sum of money or receiving good news. Enter that state fully, feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude you would feel if it were true. Now, here's the crucial part. Maintain that state regardless of outer appearances. This is where most people falter. They may imagine for a moment, but at the first sign that their outer world hasn't changed, they revert to their old state of consciousness. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of past states of consciousness. It takes time for the seed you've planted in your imagination to bear fruit in the physical world. The 1% understand this delay between the inner cause and the outer effect. They do not waver in their faith, no matter how long it takes for their desire to manifest. They know that doubt is an affirmation of absence, and they refuse to give power to what they do not wish to experience. As you begin to live from this new understanding, you'll find that your entire perception of the world shifts. What once seemed like obstacles become opportunities. What appeared as limitations reveal themselves as stepping stones to greater expansion. You begin to see the hand of providence in every experience guiding you towards the fulfillment of your desires. But remember, this is not about escaping or denying your current reality. It's about transforming it from within. The 1% who embody this truth do not ignore the challenges in their lives or in the world around them. Instead, they use their imaginative power to envision and create solutions. They become agents of positive change, not through external force, but through the power of their consciousness. As you continue on this path, you may find that your desires themselves begin to evolve. What once seemed important may fall away, replaced by deeper, more meaningful aspirations. This, too, is part of the journey. As you align more fully with your divine nature, your desires naturally come into harmony with the highest good for all. Now let's address a common misconception. Some may hear this message and think it means they can simply imagine their desires and then sit back, waiting for the universe to deliver. This is a misunderstanding of the law. While it's true that the outer action is not the cause of your manifestation, inspired action is often part of the bridge of events that leads to your desire's fulfillment. The key is that this action comes from a place of knowing, not from a place of trying to make something happen. When you truly live in a state of the wish fulfilled, you naturally think, speak, and act in ways that are in harmony with that state. These inspired actions are effortless and joyful, arising from your new state of being. Another crucial point that the 1% understand is the importance of persistence. Wayne Goddard often spoke of the importance of falling asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled. As you drift off to sleep, impress upon your subconscious mind the feeling of your desire accomplished. Your subconscious mind, which knows no limitations and accepts as true whatever you impress upon it, will then work tirelessly to bring about the conditions necessary for the fulfillment of the desire. This practice of sleeping in the state is not a one-time event, but a way of life for those who have attracted this understanding. They know that their last waking thoughts shape their tomorrows, and they use this knowledge to consciously create their future. But what about when doubts arise, when the outer world seems to contradict your inner knowing? This is where the real test comes and where the 1% truly distinguish themselves. Instead of allowing doubts to take root, they recognize them as opportunities to reaffirm their faith. They understand that doubt is simply faith in the opposite direction, and they consciously choose to place their faith in their desired outcome. Remember, the power of your subconscious mind is neutral. It does not judge your thoughts or imaginings as good or bad, possible or impossible. It simply accepts what you impress upon it as true and works to bring it into manifestation. This is why it's crucial to guard the door of your mind, to be vigilant about the states of consciousness you entertain. The 1% who attract and embody this truth understand that every moment is an opportunity to choose their state of consciousness. They do not allow circumstances or other people to dictate their mood or their expectations. They know that they're the operant power in their lives, and they use this power consciously and consistently. Now, you might be wondering about the role of others in this process. If your consciousness creates your reality, what about the other people in your life? This is where many stumble, but the 1% understand a profound truth. Everyone in your world is you pushed out. Every person you encounter is reflecting back to you your own states of consciousness. This understanding brings with it a great responsibility. It means that if you want to change your relationships or how others treat you, you must first change your concept of yourself and of them. As you begin to see yourself as worthy of love, respect, and success, the world around you will reflect this back to you. But this is not about controlling others or bending them to your will. It's about recognizing that the entire world is yourself pushed out. And as you change your inner world, your perception and experience of the outer world naturally shifts. This understanding also eliminates the need for competition or comparison. The 1% who grasp this truth know that there is no need to compete for limited resources or opportunities. They understand that consciousness is the only true cause, and that by aligning their consciousness with their desires, they open themselves up to infinite possibilities. Another key aspect that sets the 1% apart is their understanding of the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a state and persist in it, it must become your reality. This goes beyond mere positive thinking or affirmations. It's about fully embodying the state of consciousness of your wish fulfilled. When you assume a state, you think from it, not of it. You don't think about being wealthy. You think from the state of wealth. You don't affirm that you will be healthy. You assume the state of perfect health and think, feel, and act from that state. This subtle shift makes all the difference. When you think of something, you reinforce its absence in your life. When you think from it, you affirm its presence. The 1% who attract this understanding make this shift in all areas of their lives. But what about when circumstances seem to contradict your assumed state? This is where many falter, but not the 1%. They understand that circumstances are effects, not causes. They know that if persisting their assumed states, circumstances must change to align with it. This persistence in the face of contrary evidence is what truly sets the 1% apart. They do not allow the outer world to dictate their inner state. Instead, they know that by maintaining their desired state of consciousness, they are causing the outer world to reshape itself, to match their inner reality. Another crucial understanding that the 1% embody is the concept of everyone is you pushed out. This means that every person in your reality is a reflection of your consciousness. The way people treat you, the opportunities that come your way, even the seemingly random events in your life, all are reflections of your states of consciousness. This understanding brings with it a profound sense of responsibility. It means that if you want to change how others treat you, you must first change your concept of yourself and of them. As you begin to see yourself as worthy of love, respect, and success, the world around you will reflect this back to you. But this is not about controlling others or bending them to your will. It's about recognizing that the entire world is yourself pushed out. And as you change your inner world, your perception and experience of the outer world naturally shifts. The 1% who grasp this truth also understand the power of revision. This technique taught by Wayne Goddard allows you to go back into your past in your imagination and read events to align with your desired reality. By doing so, you change the trajectory of your life from that point forward. Revision is not about denying what happened, but about changing your memory of it. As you revise past events in your imagination, you are literally rewriting your subconscious beliefs and expectations, which in turn shapes your present and future experiences. The 1% use revision not just for major life events, but as a daily practice. At the end of each day, they review the events and revise anything that didn't align with their desired reality. This constant realignment of their inner world ensures that their outer world continues to reflect their highest vision for themselves. Another key understanding that sets the 1% apart is their grasp of the law of bridge of incidence. This law states that once you have impressed your desire upon your subconscious mind, a series of events will be set in motion to bring about its fulfillment. These events may not always make sense to your logical mind, but they are all part of the bridge leading to your desire's manifestation. The 1% understand that their job is not to figure out how their desire will manifest, but to maintain the state of the wish fulfilled and allow the bridge of incidents to unfold naturally. They trust in the wisdom of their subconscious mind to bring about the perfect circumstances for their desire's fulfillment. This understanding frees them from the need to manipulate or control external circumstances. They know that by maintaining their desired state of consciousness, they are causing the perfect sequence of events to unfold in their lives. But what about when things seem to go wrong? When obstacles appear or setbacks occur? This is where the 1% truly shine. They understand that what appears as a setback is often a setup for something even better. They see every experience as an opportunity to reaffirm their faith and deepen their understanding of the law. The 1% also grasp the importance of detachment. This doesn't mean they don't care about their desires, but rather that they are not anxiously attached to specific outcomes. They understand that their imagination creates instantly in the fourth-dimensional world of consciousness, and that the three-dimensional world of form takes time to catch up. This detachment allows them to live in a state of calm expectancy. They don't waste energy worrying about when or how their desire will manifest. They simply know that it is done in consciousness, and they live from that knowing. Another crucial aspect that sets the 1% apart is their understanding of the importance of self-concept. They know that how they see themselves is the foundation upon which their entire reality is built. If they want to change their outer world, They must first change their concept of themselves. This goes beyond mere positive self-talk or affirmations. It's about fundamentally redefining who they are at the core of their being. They see themselves as divine beings capable of creating any reality they choose. This elevated self-concept naturally leads to elevated experiences in their outer world. The 1% also understand the power of their inner conversations. They know that the thoughts they entertain, the mental conversations they engage in, are shaping their reality. They are vigilant about the quality of their inner dialogue, ensuring that it aligns with their desired reality. They don't indulge in mental arguments or rehearse negative scenarios. Instead, they consciously direct their inner conversations towards what they want to experience. They know that these inner conversations are the blueprint from which their outer reality is constructed. Another key understanding that sets the 1% apart is their grasp of the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a state and persist in it, it must become your reality. The 1% don't just understand this intellectually, they live it daily. They know that to manifest their desires, they must assume the state of consciousness of already having what they want. They don't hope for their desires to come true. They live as if they are already true. This shift in consciousness is the key to their manifesting power. The 1% also understand the importance of feeling. They know that it's not enough to intellectually affirm their desires or visualize them. They must feel the reality of their desire fulfilled. This feeling is the secret that brings their imaginal acts to life. They cultivate the feeling of the wish fulfilled in every aspect of their lives. When they pray from the state of the wish fulfilled. They understand that feeling is the secret, the catalyst that brings their imaginal acts to life. The 1% grasp the power of persistence. They don't waver when circumstances contradict their desire of reality. They know that the outer world reflects past states of consciousness and persist in their new state. Knowing the outer must conform to the inner, they understand revision, the ability to rewrite past events in imagination, changing subconscious beliefs, and shaping present and future experiences. They practice this daily, constantly reeling in their inner world. The law of bridge of incidence is another key understanding. Once a desire is impressed upon the subconscious, a series of events unfolds to manifest it. The 1% trust this process, maintaining their desired state and allowing events to unfold naturally. Detachment is crucial. The 1% are not anxiously attached to outcomes. They live in calm expectancy, knowing their desire is fulfilled in consciousness and the physical world will catch up. Self-concept is foundational. The 1% see themselves as divine beings capable of creating any reality. This elevated self-concept leads to elevated experiences. Inner conversations shape reality. The 1% consciously direct their inner dialogue to align with their desired reality, avoiding negative mental scenarios. The law of assumption is lived daily. The 1% assume the state of already having what they want, living as if their desires are already true. They understand everyone as you pushed out. Every person reflects their consciousness. This brings responsibility. Changing how others treat you requires changing your self-concept and perception of them. The 1% recognize the power of their attention. They focus on what they want to experience, knowing that energy flows where attention goes. They practice living in the end, experiencing the feeling of their desire fulfilled now, not waiting for external circumstances to change. Gratitude is a powerful force for the 1%. They give thanks for their desires as if already fulfilled, amplifying the feeling of having received. They understand the importance of relaxation in manifesting. Tension and anxiety block the natural flow of manifestation. The 1% cultivate a relaxed, confident state. Imagination is seen as the real substance of the external world. The 1% treat their imaginal acts as more real than the temporary facts of life. They grasp the concept of infinite states. Any state of consciousness is available to them. and they choose consciously which states to occupy. The 1% understand the power of I am. They carefully watch their I am statements, knowing these define their reality. They practice the art of forgiveness, releasing all resentment and negative emotions that could block their manifestations. The Sabbath is honored. The 1% know when to cease effort and rest in the knowledge that it is done. They understand the power of silence. After impressing their desire on their subconscious, they don't discuss it unnecessarily, allowing it to gestate. The 1% grasp the concept everyone as you pushed out on a global scale. They know that by changing themselves, they change the world. They practice mental diets, carefully monitoring and controlling the thoughts they entertain. The power of decision is fully grasped. The 1% know that making a true decision, cutting off all other possibilities, is a powerful act of creation. They understand the importance of self-love. Loving themselves unconditionally opens the floodgates for all other good to enter their lives. The 1% practice presence. They lie fully in the now, knowing it's the only point of power. They grasp the concept of divine timing. While they know their desire is fulfilled in consciousness, they allow the physical manifestation to unfold in its perfect time. The power of words is fully understood. The 1% carefully choose their words, knowing they are decrees that shape their reality. They practice the art of allowing. Instead of trying to force manifestations, they allow them to unfold naturally. The 1% understand the importance of alignment. They ensure their thoughts, feelings, words, and actions all align with their desired reality. They grasp the concept of infinite parallel realities. They know they can shift to any reality by assuming the appropriate state. The power of belief is fully embraced. The 1% know that what they believe shapes their reality, and they consciously choose empowering beliefs. They understand the importance of receptivity. They keep themselves open to receiving their good, knowing they are worthy of their desires. The 1% practice detachment from unwanted circumstances. They don't give power to what they don't want by fighting against it. They grasp the concept of collapse of time. In their imagination, they can experience future events now, collapsing time and speeding up manifestations. The power of their subconscious mind is fully utilized. The 1% know how to impress their desires upon their subconscious for effortless manifestation. They understand the importance of letting go. After impressing their desire, they release it, trusting in the perfect unfolding. The 1% practice the art of surrender. They surrender their limited personal will to the greater wisdom of their divine self. They grasp the concept of unity consciousness. They know they are one with all that is, and this understanding informs their manifesting practice. The power of their attention is fully realized. The 1% place their attention only on what they want to grow in their lives. They understand the importance of momentum. Small successes build confidence and speed up future manifestations. The 1% practice the art of listening. They listen to their intuition, knowing it guides them towards the fulfillment of their desires. They grasp the concept of circular causation. They know their outer world reflects their inner state, which in turn reinforces their outer world. The power of their imagination is fully embraced. The 1% use their imagination deliberately to create the life they desire. They understand the importance of emotional mastery. They cultivate the emotions that align with their desired reality. The 1% practice the art of giving. They give what they wish to receive, knowing the universe operates on the law of reciprocity. They grasp the concept of quantum leaps. They know they can make dramatic shifts in their reality by making equally dramatic shifts in their consciousness. The power of their voice is fully realized. The 1% use their voice to declare their desired reality into existence. They understand the importance of self-trust. They trust in their ability to create their reality and in the perfection of the universal laws. The 1% practice the art of celebration. They celebrate their desires as already fulfilled. amplifying the feeling of having received. They grasp the concept of divine order. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, even when things seem to go awry. The power of their identity is fully embraced. The 1% consciously choose and embody the identity that aligns with their desired reality. They understand the importance of persistence. They persist in their desired state, no matter how long it takes for the outer world to catch up. The 1% practice the art of detached observation. They observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, choosing consciously which to entertain. They grasp the concept of infinite abundance. They know that in the realm of consciousness, there are no limits or scarcity. The power of their focus is fully realized. The 1% focus exclusively on what they want, withdrawing attention from what they don't want. They understand the importance of self-awareness. They constantly monitor their states of consciousness, choosing deliberately which states to occupy. The 1% practice the art of mental rehearsal. They regularly rehearse their desired scenarios in their mind, imprinting them on their subconscious. They grasp the concept of simultaneous time. They know all possible realities exist now, and they can shift between them at will. The power of their assumptions is fully embraced. The 1% carefully watch their assumptions, knowing these form the foundation of their reality. They understand the importance of self-mastery. They work constantly to master their thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The 1% practice the art of non-reaction. They don't react to unwanted circumstances, knowing reaction gives them power. They grasp the concept of infinite potential. They know they have the potential to be or have anything they can imagine. The power of their self-talk is fully realized. The 1% consciously direct their self-talk to align with their desired reality. They understand the importance of energy management. They cultivate and maintain high vibrational states that align with their desires. The 1% practice the art of visualization. They create vivid, detailed mental images of their desired reality, engaging all their senses. They grasp the concept of divine timing. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, knowing their desire will manifest at the right time. The power of their beliefs is fully embraced. The 1% consciously choose beliefs that support their desired reality, releasing limiting beliefs. They understand the importance of alignment. They ensure that thoughts, feelings, words, and actions all align with their desired state. The 1% practice the art of allowing. They allow their manifestations to unfold naturally without force or struggle. They grasp the concept of infinite possibilities. They know that any outcome is possible, and they choose consciously which possibilities to entertain. The power of their expectation is fully realized. The 1% expect good things to happen, knowing their expectations shape their experiences. They understand the importance of receptivity. They keep themselves open to receiving their good, clearing any blocks to receptivity. The 1% practice the art of surrender. They surrender their limited personal will to the greater wisdom of their divine self. They grasp the concept of uni-consciousness. They know they are one with all that is, and this understanding informs their manifesting practice. The power of their attention is fully embraced. The 1% place their attention only on what they want to grow in their lives. They understand the importance of momentum. Small successes build confidence and speed up future manifestations. The 1% practice the art of listening. They listen to their intuition, knowing it guides them towards the fulfillment of their desire. They grasp the concept of circular causation. They know their outer world reflects their inner state, which in turn reinforces their outer world. The power of their imagination is fully realized. The 1% use their imagination deliberately to create the life they desire. They understand the importance of emotional mastery. They cultivate the emotions that align with their desire of reality. The 1% practice the art of giving. They give what they wish to receive, knowing the universe operates on the law of reciprocity. They grasp the concept of quantum leaps. They know they can make dramatic shifts in their reality by making equally dramatic shifts in their consciousness. The power of their voice is fully embraced. The 1% use their voice to declare their desire of reality into existence. They understand the importance of self-trust. They trust in their ability to create their reality and in the perfection of the universal laws. The 1% practice the art of celebration. They celebrate their desires as already fulfilled, amplifying the feeling of having received. They grasp the concept of divine order. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, even when things seem to go awry. The power of their identity is fully realized. The 1% consciously choose and embody the identity that aligns with their desire of reality. They understand the importance of persistence. They persist in their desired state no matter how long it takes to live up to authority. The 1% practice the art of detached observation. They observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, choosing consciously which to entertain. They grasp the concept of infinite abundance. They know that in the realm of consciousness there are no limits or scarcity. The power of their focus is fully embraced. The 1% focus exclusively on what they want, withdrawing attention from what they don't want. They understand the importance of self-awareness. They constantly monitor their states of consciousness, choosing deliberately which states to occupy. The 1% practice the art of mental rehearsal. They regularly rehearse their desired scenarios in their mind, imprinting them on their subconscious. They grasp the concept of simultaneous time. They know all possible realities exist now, and they can shift between them at will. The power of their assumptions is fully realized. The 1% carefully watch their assumptions, knowing these form the foundation of their reality. They understand the importance of self-mastery. They work constantly to master their thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The 1% practice the art of non-reaction. They don't react to unwanted circumstances, knowing reaction gives them power. They grasp the concept of infinite potential. They know they have the potential to be, do, or have anything they can imagine. The power of their self-talk is fully embraced. The 1% consciously direct their self-talk to align with their desired reality. They understand the importance of energy management. They cultivate and maintain high vibrational states that align with their desires. The 1% practice the art of visualization. They create vivid, detailed mental images of their desired reality, engaging all their senses. They grasp the concept of divine timing. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, knowing their desire will manifest at the right time. The power of their beliefs is fully realized. The 1% consciously choose beliefs that support their desired reality, releasing limiting beliefs. They understand the importance of alignment. They ensure their thoughts, feelings, words, and actions all align with their desired state. The 1% practice the art of allowing. They allow their manifestations to unfold naturally without force or struggle. They grasp the concept of infinite possibilities. They know that any outcome is possible, and they choose consciously which possibilities to entertain. The power of their expectation is fully embraced. The 1% expect good things to happen, knowing their expectations shape their experiences. They understand the importance of receptivity. They keep themselves open to receiving their good, clearing any blocks to receptivity. The 1% practice the art of surrender. They surrender their limited personal will to the greater wisdom of their divine self. They grasp the concept of unity consciousness. They know they are one with all that is, and this understanding informs their manifesting practice. The power of their attention is fully realized. The 1% place their attention only on what they want to grow in their lives. They understand the importance of momentum. Small successes build confidence and speed up future manifestations. The 1% practice the art of listening. They listen to their intuition, knowing it guides them towards the fulfillment of their desires. They grasp the concept of circular causation. They know their outer world reflects their inner state. which in turn reinforces their outer world. The power of their imagination is fully embraced. The 1% use their imagination deliberately to create the life they desire. They understand the importance of emotional mastery. They cultivate the emotions that align with their desired reality. The 1% practice the art of giving. They give what they wish to receive, knowing the universe operates on the law of reciprocity. They grasp the concept of quantum leaps. They know they can make dramatic shifts in their reality by making equal, bloody quick shifts in their consciousness. The power of their voice is fully realized. The 1% use their voice to declare their desired reality into existence. They understand the importance of self-trust. They trust in their ability to create their reality and in the perfection of the universal laws. The 1% practice the art of celebration. They celebrate their desires as already fulfilled, amplifying the feeling of having received. They grasp the concept of divine order. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, even when things seem to go awry. The power of their identity is fully embraced. The 1% consciously choose and embody the identity that aligns with their desired reality. They understand the importance of persistence. They persist in their desired state no matter how long it takes for the outer world to catch up. The 1% practice the art of detached observation. They observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, choosing consciously which to entertain. They grasp the concept of infinite abundance. They know that in the realm of consciousness, there are no limits or scarcity. The power of their focus is fully realized. The 1% focus exclusively on what they want, withdrawing attention from what they don't want. They understand the importance of self-awareness. They constantly monitor their states of consciousness, choosing deliberately which states to occupy. The 1% practice the art of mental rehearsal. They regularly rehearse their desired scenarios in their mind, imprinting them on their subconscious. They grasp the concept of simultaneous time. They know all possible realities exist now, and they can shift between them at will. The power of their assumptions is fully embraced. The 1% carefully watch their assumptions, knowing these form the foundation of their reality. They understand the importance of self-mastery. They work constantly to master their thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The 1% practice the art of non-reaction. They don't react to unwanted circumstances. Knowing reaction gives them power. They grasp the concept of infinite potential. They know they have the potential to be, do, or have anything they can imagine. The power of their self-talk is fully realized. The 1% consciously direct their self-talk to align with their desired reality. They understand the importance of energy management. They cultivate and maintain high vibrational states that align with their desires. The 1% practice the art of visualization. They create vivid, detailed mental images of their desired reality, engaging all their senses. They grasp the concept of divine timing. They trust in the perfect unfolding of events, knowing their desire will manifest at the right time. The power of their beliefs is fully realized. The 1% consciously choose beliefs that support their desired reality, releasing limiting beliefs. They understand the importance of alignment. They ensure their thoughts, feelings, words, and actions all align with their desired state. The 1% practice the art of allowing. They allow their manifestations to unfold naturally, without force or struggle. They grasp the concept of infinite possibilities. They know that any outcome is possible, and they choose consciously which possibilities to entertain. Imagine, if you will, a world where the very fabric of reality bends to your will, where the thoughts you think and the beliefs you hold shape the experiences you encounter. This is not a flight of fancy, my dear peer friends, but the fundamental nature of our existence. You see, the universe in which we live is not a cold, indifferent machine, but a responsive, malleable substance that takes on the form of our dominant impressions. Let us begin by understanding a crucial principle. Your mind, your wonderful human imagination, is the God of which all sacred texts speak. It is the creative power through which all things are made manifest. When you truly grasp this concept, you will realize that the power to create wealth, abundance, and prosperity lies not in some external force, but within the confines of your own consciousness. Now, you might be wondering, how can this be? How can my thoughts possibly manifest money within such a short span of time? The answer, my friends, lies in understanding that time is but an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of spirit, in the domain of imagination, there is no past, no future, only the eternal now. And it is in this eternal now that all possibilities exist simultaneously. To activate your mind and manifest money within 24 hours, you must first shift your consciousness. You must move from a state of lack and wanting to a state of abundance and having. This shift is not something that happens in the outer world. It is an inner movement, a change in your mental atmosphere. When you can feel the naturalness of being wealthy, when you can sleep in the assumption of your desire fulfilled, the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. Let me share with you a technique that, when applied with unwavering faith and persistence, can bring about miraculous results. As you retire to bed tonight, I want you to close your eyes and construct the scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire for wealth. Perhaps you see yourself holding a bank statement with a balance that thrills you, or maybe you feel the weight of your wallet heavy with crisp new bills. Whatever scene you choose, make it as vivid and as real as you possibly can. Now, here's the crucial part. You must enter into this scene. You must participate in it fully using all your senses. Feel the paper of the bank statement between your fingers. Smell the crisp sense of new currency. Hear the rustle of bills as you thumb through them. Make this imaginal act so real that it takes on the tones of reality. You must persist in this state until you feel a sense of satisfaction, a feeling that tells you, yes, this is done. As you drift off to sleep, carry this feeling with you. Let it be the last thing on your mind as you enter the world of slumber. For it is in sleep that the subconscious mind is most receptive, most malleable to the impressions we give it. And it is the subconscious that possesses the power to bring our imaginal acts into physical manifestation. But remember, my dear friends, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. Therefore, when you awaken in the morning, you must maintain this feeling of wealth, this consciousness of abundance. Do not let the appearances, the physical world, shake your conviction. For what you see now is but the shadow of past thoughts and beliefs. The new state you have entered will take a little time to project itself onto the screen of space. Throughout your day, whenever you have a quiet moment, revisit that scene. Feel once again the joy, the excitement, the naturalness of being in possession of the wealth you desire. Let this feeling permeate every fiber of your being. For you are not trying to get something, you are acknowledging that you already have it in the realm of imagination. And therefore, it must come into physical expression. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, I've tried positive thinking before and it didn't work. To this, I say there is a world of difference between mere positive thinking and the art of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Positive thinking often still carries with it the consciousness of lack, the awareness that you are trying to change something. But in the law I'm teaching you, there is no trying. There is only the acknowledgement of what is already yours in imagination. Consider the biblical phrase before they call, I will answer. This is not some mystical promise, but a statement of how reality operates. The moment you can feel the reality of your desire, the moment you can live from the end as though it were already accomplished, in that instant your prayer is answered. The things and events of the outer world are merely catching up to the truth you have accepted in your imagination. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this principle. I once knew a man who was in dire financial straits. His business was failing, his debts were mounting, and he could see no way out of his predicament. He came to me desperate for a solution. I shared with him this very law we're discussing today. At first he was skeptical, but he was also at his wit's end and willing to try anything. I instructed him to go home and before sleeping to construct a scene that would imply his financial problems were solved. He chose to imagine himself sitting in his office, looking at a pile of paid invoices and a bank statement showing a healthy balance. I told him to make this scene as real as possible and to fall asleep in this state. The next morning he awoke feeling different. There was a lightness to his step, a confidence he hadn't felt in months. Nothing in his outer world had changed yet, but he knew he felt that everything was going to be all right. Throughout the day he held on to this feeling, revisiting his imaginal scene whenever doubt tried to creep in. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Within 24 hours, he received a call from a client he hadn't heard from in years. This client had a large project and wanted to work exclusively with him. The advance payment for this project was enough to cover all his outstanding debts and breathe a new life into his business. So, is this a coincidence? Absolutely not. It was the law in operation. The moment he changed his inner state, the outer world had to realign itself to match his new consciousness. This, my friends, is the power you hold within you. This is the creative force of your imagination at work. But let me be clear, this is not about manipulating external circumstances. It's not about forcing the world to bend to your will. Rather, it's about aligning yourself with the fundamental nature of reality. It's about recognizing that the world of form is born from the formless realm of imagination. Now, some of you might be wondering about the morality of using your imagination to manifest money. You might be asking, is it right to simply imagine wealth into existence? To this I say, the use of your imagination is the most fundamental right you possess. It is, in fact, your duty to use this God-given gift to create a life of abundance and joy, not just for yourself, but for all those around you. You see, when you liberate yourself from financial worry, when you step into a state of abundance, you become a blessing to the world. You are able to give more, to help more, to make a greater positive impact on the lives of others. The wealth you manifest is not taken from anyone else. It is created anew from the infinite abundance of the universe. Consider this: every invention, every work of art, every business, every advancement in human society began as an idea, as an imaginal act. The phone in your pocket, the chair you're sitting on, the way building way in, all of these were once just thoughts in someone's mind. By bringing these thoughts into physical reality, these individuals not only enriched themselves, but added value to the world. So I urge you, do not feel guilty about using your imagination to create wealth. Instead, recognize it as your sacred duty, for in doing so, you are aligning yourself with the creative principle of the universe. You are fulfilling your role as a co-creator with the divine. Now, let's delve deep in the mechanics of this process. When you imagine yourself in a state of wealth, when you feel the naturalness of abundance, you are literally reshaping your concept of self. And your concept of self is the foundation upon which your entire life experience is built. Most people live their lives based on a concept of self that was given to them by others, their parents, their teachers, their society. They accept limitations that were never truly theirs. But you, my dear friends, you have the power to consciously choose your concept of self. You have the ability to decide right here and now that you are a person of wealth and abundance. This decision, this shift in your concept of self, is not something that happens on a purely intellectual level. It must be felt. It must be experienced with the full force of your imagination. When you can feel the reality of being wealthy with the same intensity that you feel the floor beneath your feet, that's when true transformation occurs. Let's practice this together right now. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and relax. Now, I want you to imagine you are holding a check in your hands. This check is made out to you, and the amount on it is more money than you've ever had in your life. Look at the numbers. See them clearly. Feel the paper between your fingers. Notice the weight of it in your hands. Now, I want you to amplify this experience. Feel the excitement coursing through your body. Feel the relief, the joy, the sense of possibility that comes with this newfound wealth. Let this feeling grow stronger and stronger until it fills your entire being. This, my friends, this feeling is more important than any mental picture, for it is your feelings that shape your reality. Open your eyes. How do you feel? Different, you? That feeling, that state of consciousness is what you must return to again and again. That is the fertile soil in which the seeds of your desires will grow and bear fruit. But here's a crucial point. You must persist in this new state. The old man, the old concept of self, will try to reassert itself. Doubts will arise. The evidence of your physical senses will try to convince you that nothing has changed. This is where your faith will be tested. Remember, faith is not blind belief. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. It is the conviction that what you have imagined and felt as real in your mind must by cosmic law be made manifest in your physical reality. When doubt arises, when the old patterns of thought try to pull you back, you must return again and again to that feeling of wealth, that consciousness of abundance. Think of it this way. Your imagination is like a gardener planting seeds. The feeling of wealth, the consciousness of abundance. These are the seeds you are planting in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. But just as a gardener doesn't dig up the seeds every day to see if they're growing, you must not constantly question whether your imaginal act is working. Instead, you must water these seeds with your attention, your faith, your persistent assumption that what you have imagined is already a reality. And just as surely as a corn grows into an oak tree, your imaginal act will grow into a physical reality. Now, let's address a common concern. Some of you might be thinking, but what about action? Don't I need to do something in the physical world to manifest money? This is a valid question, and the answer might surprise you. Yes, action is important, but it's not the kind of action you might be thinking of. You see, the most important action is the action of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This internal action, this movement of consciousness, is far more powerful than any external action you could take. When you successfully assume the feeling of being wealthy, when you live from that state of consciousness, you will be moved to take whatever outer actions are necessary to bring your desire into manifestation. These actions will not feel like effort or struggle. They will feel natural, inspired. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time. Opportunities will present themselves to you. People will be drawn to you, eager to do business with you. This is the law in operation. This is the power of your activated imagination. But remember, the outer actions are not the cause of your wealth. They are the result of your change in consciousness. They are the bridge of incidents that lead to the fulfillment of your desire. The real work, the true action, takes place in your imagination. Now, I want to address something that many of you might be experiencing as you listen to these words, as you contemplate this law. You might be feeling a sense of excitement mixed with disbelief. A part of you might be saying, "This sounds too good to be true. It can't be this simple." This reaction is natural. It's the old consciousness, the old concept of self, fighting to maintain its existence. But I want you to consider something which is simpler. To believe that you must struggle and strive for years to accumulate wealth, always at the mercy of external circumstances, or to accept that the power to create the life you desire lies within you, waiting to be activated by your imagination. The truth is, this law is simple. But simple does not mean easy. It requires a fundamental shift in how you view reality. It demands that you take full responsibility for your life experience. It asks you to question everything you've been taught about the nature of reality and your place in it. This is why so few people truly succeed in consciously creating their reality. Not because it doesn't work, but because they're unwilling to persist through the initial period of uncertainty. The period where their new assumptions have not yet been made manifest in the physical world. But you, my dear friends, you who have chosen to be here today, you are different. You are the select few who are ready to take control of your destiny. You are the ones who will persist, who will hold fast to your new assumption of wealth and abundance, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. And make no mistake, the outer world will seem to contradict it, at least at first. This is the time of testing, the time when your faith in the unseen reality must be stronger than your faith in the evidence of your physical senses. But if you can persist through this period, if you can maintain your new state of consciousness regardless of outer appearances, you will see miracles unfold in your life. Now let's talk about the frame mentioned in our topic, within 24 hours. Some of you might be wondering if it's really possible to manifest money that quickly. The answer is a resounding yes, but with a caveat. The manifestation of your desire in the physical world is not subject to time as we understand it in our three-dimensional existence. In the fourth-dimensional realm of imagination, the realm where all creation begins, there is no time. There's only the eternal now. When you successfully impress your subconscious mind with a feeling of wealth, when you can live in the state of the wish fulfilled, the seed of your desire is planted instantaneously. The 24 hours mentioned in our topic is not a rigid time frame for physical manifestation. Rather, it refers to the period within which you can fundamentally alter your state of consciousness. When you go to sleep tonight, in the assumption of your wish fulfilled, when you maintain that state upon waking and throughout your day, you will have activated your mind to manifest money. From that point on, the bridge of incidents that leads to the physical manifestation of your desire begins to fall. For some, this manifestation might occur within 24 hours. For others, it might take a bit longer. But make no mistake, once you have truly assumed the state of wealth in your imagination, its physical manifestation is assured. The key is to focus not on the when, but on the what. Focus on maintaining the feeling of wealth, the consciousness of abundance. Let go of any anxiety about how or when your desire will manifest. Remember, the feeling is the secret. The feeling of wealth experienced with all the vividness of your imagination is the cause. The outer manifestation of money is the effect. Now, I want to share with you a powerful technique that can help you maintain this state of wealth consciousness throughout your day. It's a technique I call wearing your desire. Here's how it works. Imagine that your desired state of wealth is like a garment, a beautiful payload billet suit or dress. In your imagination, put on this garment. Feel the texture of the fabric against your skin. Feel how it fits you perfectly. Feel the confidence, the assurance that comes wearing this garment of wealth. Now, as you go about your day, whenever you start to doubt, whenever the old state tries to resurf, remind yourself, I am wearing my desire. I am clothed in wealth. Feel it. Experience it as vividly as you can. This simple technique can work wonders in helping you maintain your new state of consciousness. Remember, my dear friends, you are not trying to create something new. You are simply aligning yourself with the wealth that already exists in the infinite realm of possibility. You are choosing to embody a particular state of being, a state of wealth and abundance that already exists in the spiritual realm. Your job is not to make it happen. Your job is to select the state you wish to embody and then to occupy that state so completely in your imagination that it becomes your new reality. The outer world has no choice but to conform your inner assumption. Now, Some of you might be wondering about the role of gratitude in this process. Gratitude is indeed a powerful force, but not in the way many people think. You see, most people believe they should be grateful for what they have in order to receive more. But this approach still carries with it the consciousness of lack, the awareness that you don't yet have what you desire. True gratitude, the kind that aligns with the law we're discussing, is gratitude for what you have imagined as real. It's the feeling of thankfulness that arises naturally when you have successfully assumed the state of your wish fulfilled. When you can genuinely feel grateful for your imagined wealth, as though it were already a physical fact, you align yourself powerfully with the state of having that wealth. This alignment, this feeling of gratitude for your imagined reality, serves to amplify your assumption and accelerate its manifestation. It's a recognition of the truth that what you have conceived in imagination is as real as any physical fact. This kind of gratitude doesn't come from a place of lack or wanting, but from a place of abundance and fulfillment. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a crucial point. The law we've been exploring is not a one-time event, but a way of life. It's not about manifesting money once and then returning to your old patterns of thought. It's about consistently living from the state of abundance, regardless of outer circumstances. Even after you've successfully manifested money, continue to occupy a state of wealth in your imagination. Make it your permanent dwelling place, for as you do this, you'll find that abundance becomes your natural state of being. Money and opportunities will flow to you effortlessly, not because you're focusing on manifesting them, but because you're consistently embodying the state of wealth. Remember, the outer world is constantly conforming to your inner assumptions. By maintaining a consistent state of wealth consciousness, you ensure consistent experience of abundance in your physical reality. This is the true secret to lasting prosperity. In closing, I want to remind you of the immense power you hold within you. Your human imagination, properly understood and applied, is the very force that shapes reality. It is the God power spoken of in Scripture, the creative principle of the universe individualized in you. You are not a helpless victim of circumstances, but the author of your life story. With your imagination, you have the power to rewrite that story at any moment. Choose now to write a story of abundance of wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Choose to step into the state of wealth, to wear it like a garment, to feel its reality with every fiber of your being. Go forth from this place with the knowledge that you are now activating your mind to manifest money. Know that as you sleep tonight, in the assumption of your wish fulfilled, as you awaken tomorrow morning in the state of wealth, you are setting in motion forces beyond your comprehension that will move heaven and earth to bring your desire into manifestation. And finally, my dear friends, remember this: the law we've discussed today is not just about manifesting money. It's about recognizing and claiming your birthright as a creative being. Use this law not just for personal gain, but to enrich the world around you. For as you step into your power, as you manifest abundance in your own life, you become a beacon of hope and inspiration for others. You become living proof of the limitless potential that resides within each of us. Go now and create the life of abundance you desire and deserve. The power is yours. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and watch in awe as your world transforms before your very eyes. You are the operant power in your world. You and you alone are the architect of your life experiences. The world you see around you, with all its joys and sorrows, triumphs and challenges, is but an outward reflection of your inner state of consciousness. It is a mirror faithfully reflecting back to you the sum total of your beliefs, assumptions, and imaginal acts. Now you might ask, but Wayne, how can this be? Surely the world exists independently of my thoughts and feelings. To this I say, the world as you perceive it exists nowhere but in your consciousness. Your senses may tell you otherwise, may insist on the solidity and unchangeable nature of your circumstances, but I tell you this is an illusion, a shadow cast by the light of your own imagination. Consider for a moment, when you dream at night, do you not experience a world that feels every bit as real as your waking life? Do you not interact with people, places, and situations that seem to exist independently of your will? And yet, upon waking, you recognize that entire world was created within your own mind. So too is it with what you call your waking reality. The great secret then is this: your imagination is the very workshop in which you forge your life experiences. Every event, every circumstance, every person in your life is there because you have imagined them into being, whether consciously or unconsciously. This is the true meaning of the biblical phrase, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." But let us delve deeper into this truth. When we speak of focusing on yourself and your dreams, we are not talking about mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. No, we are speaking of a far more potent and transformative practice, the art of living from the end. To live from the end means to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It means to enter in your imagination into the state of consciousness you would occupy if your desire were already a present fact. This is not about visualizing a future event, but about experiencing here and now the reality of your fulfilled desire. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The common approach would be to focus on the process of acquiring wealth, working harder, saving more, investing wisely. But this approach keeps you rooted in the consciousness of lack, of not yet having what you desire. Instead, I urge you to ask yourself, how would I feel if I motioned financially abundant? What would my inner conversations be like? How would I carry myself? What thoughts would occupy my mind throughout the day? Then, having identified these feelings and states of mind, your task is to assume them now low in your present reality. You see, my dear friends, the secret is not to think about your desire, but to think from the state of its fulfillment. This is the true meaning of prayer. Not beseeching an external deity for favors, but aligning your consciousness with the reality you wish to experience. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, this sounds like self-deception. How can I feel wealthy when my bank account tells me otherwise? To this I say, your senses show you only the effects, never the causes of your reality. By persisting in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are operating on the causal level of existence, and the outer world must, by law, reorganize itself to match your new inner state. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. What you are conscious of being, you are. And what you are, you create. This is the true meaning of the biblical injunction to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. By renewing your mind, that is, by consistently assuming the state of consciousness of your wish fulfilled, you transform your entire world. But let us be clear, this is not about escaping reality or denying your present circumstances. It is about understanding the true nature of reality as a malleable, responsive substance that conforms to your dominant mental states. It is about recognizing your power as a creative being and wielding that power consciously and deliberately. Now, you might ask, how do I begin this practice of living from the end? How do I focus on myself and my dreams in this way? The answer lies in the use of your imagination, that divine gift that sets you apart as a creative being in this universe. Each night, as you lay your head upon your pillow, I want you to enter a state of relaxation. Let the cares and concerns of your day fall away. Then, with your inner eye, construct a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and as real as you possibly can. Engage all your senses in this imaginal act. If your desire is for a loving relationship, feel the warmth of your beloved's embrace. Hear their voice whispering words of affection. Smell their familiar scent. Make the scene as real and as natural as any memory of an actual event. If your dream is a professional success, see yourself in your ideal work environment. Feel the satisfaction of a job well done. Hear the congratulations of your colleagues. Experience the pride and fulfillment of living your purpose. Whatever your desire may be, construct a scene that implies its fulfillment. Then enter into that scene. Do not watch it as a spectator, but participate in it fully. Be there in your imagination, experiencing the joy and satisfaction of your wish fulfilled. As you fall asleep, carry this feeling with you. Let it be the last thing in your consciousness as you drift off to slumber. For in sleep, when your conscious mind is at rest, these impressions sink deep into your subconscious, the fertile soil from which all your future experiences will grow. But do not limit this practice to your nighttime reveries. Throughout your day, whenever you are in a quiet moment, return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let it color your mood, influence your posture, inform your inner conversations. Remember, my friends, your inner conversations are incredibly powerful. They are the backdrop against which your life unfolds. Most people carry on these inner dialogues unconsciously, rehashing past hurts or worrying about future problems. But you, armed with this knowledge, can consciously direct your inner talking to align with your desires. If you desire health, do not engage in inner conversations about illness or weakness. Instead, hear yourself saying, I am vibrantly healthy and full of energy. If you seek financial abundance, let your inner bondage declare, I am abundantly provided for in every way. These inner conversations, persistently maintained, will transform your world. For whatever you consent to in your mind, whatever you feel to be true, must outpicture itself in your reality. This is the law of your being, as unalterable as any law of physics. Now, some of you may be wondering, but what about action? Surely we must do something in the outer world to realize our dreams. To this, I say, inspired action will flow naturally from your assumed state. When you truly live in the end, when you fully embody the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally and effortlessly taking the steps that lead to its manifestation. This is the meaning of biblical phrase, the vision has its own appointed hour. It ripens, it will flower. If it be long, then wait, for it is sure and it will not be late. Your only task is to hold fast to the vision, to persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The how, the when, and the where of its manifestation are not your concern. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your desire, guided by a wisdom far greater than your own. Let me share with you a personal experience to illustrate this principle. Many years ago, when I first arrived in New York City, I had the burning desire to speak at town hall. Now, at that time, I was unknown, with no connections and no apparent means of realizing this dream. But instead of focusing on these seeming obstacles, I chose to live from the end. Each night, as I fell asleep, I would imagine myself standing on the stage at town hall. I felt the solid wood beneath my feet. I saw the sea of faces before me, heard the rustle of the audience, felt the satisfaction of sharing my message to eager listeners. I lived in this state, feeling it to be true, despite all evidence to the contrary in my waking hours. And then, my friends, the outer world began to conform to this inner conviction. Within a matter of weeks, through a series of events that seemed entirely accidental, I found myself invited to speak at town hall. The very scene one had enacted in my imagination came to pass in the outer world, down to the smallest detail. This, my dear friends, is the power that lies within you. This is the creative force of your own wonderful human imagination. It is not limited by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. It is bound only by your capacity to believe in the reality of your imaginal acts. Now, let us address a common concern that arises when people first encounter these teachings. Many worry that by focusing on themselves and their own desires, they are being selfish or neglecting their duties to others. Nothing could be further from the truth. You see, my friends, you cannot give what you do not have. By focusing on your own growth, your own dreams, your own expansion, you are increasing your capacity to be of service to others. As you transform your own consciousness, you elevate the consciousness of all those around you. Remember the words of the Master. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. The kingdom of God is not a place in space or time, but a state of consciousness. It is the state of knowing yourself to be one with the creative power of the universe. When you seek this state first, when you prioritize the alignment of your consciousness with your desires, everything else falls naturally into place. Moreover, as you begin to experience the fruits of this practice in your own life, you become a living testament to the power of imagination. Your very being becomes an inspiration to others, showing them what is possible when one takes control of their inner world. But let me caution you, this work requires persistence and faith. You may not see immediate results in your outer world. The seed you plant in your imagination needs time to germinate and grow. During this period, you may face doubts, both from within yourself and from others. This is where the real test of your faith comes in. Can you persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled even when your senses deny it? Can you remain loyal to your vision even when the outer world seems to contradict it? This is the mark of a true master of fate. Remember the biblical story of Abraham, who was promised countless descendants when he was old and childless. Against all odds, against all evidence of his senses, he persisted in his faith. He dared to believe in the reality of that which was not yet manifest. And in due time, his faith was rewarded. So, too, must you persist in your imaginal acts, in your assumption of the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Do not waver, do not doubt, do not give in to the temptation to judge by appearances. Hold fast to your vision, knowing that what you are conscious of being, you must become. Now, let us delve deeper into the mechanics of this practice. When you focus on yourself and your dreams in the way I'm describing, you are engaging in a profound act of self-love and self-respect. You are declaring to the universe, and more importantly to your own subconscious mind, that you are worthy of your desires. This act of self-affirmation is crucial. Many people sabotage their own success because deep down, they do not believe they deserve it. They may go through the motions of pursuing their dreams, but their inner conviction tells a different story. By consistently assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind. You are overriding old patterns of lack, limitation, and unworthiness with new patterns of abundance, possibility, and deservingness. This is why it's so important to make your imaginal acts as vivid and as real as possible. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. By presenting it with vivid, persistent images of your desired reality, you are training it to accept this new reality as fact. And once your subconscious accepts something as fact, it works tirelessly to bring it into manifestation. It influences your perceptions, your decisions, your actions, all to align with this new accepted reality. This is the power of your subconscious mind, and by learning to work with it rather than against it, you unlock truly limitless potential. But remember, my friends, this is not about forcing or straining. The kingdom of heaven is not taken by violence. Your imaginal acts should be playful, joyful, natural. They should feel like slipping into a comfortable, familiar state rather than an arduous exercise of will. Think of a child at play, fully immersed in their imaginary world. They do not doubt the reality of their imaginings. They do not strain to believe. They simply are what they imagine themselves to be, fully and without reservation. This is the state you must cultivate in your own imaginal work. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process. Surely, you might think I can't just sit around imagining all day. Don't I need to do something to make my dreams a reality? To this I say, right action will flow naturally from your assumed state. When you truly live in the end, when you fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take the steps lead to its manifestation. These actions will not feel like hard work or struggle. They will feel natural efforts, almost inevitable. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, saying the right words, making the right decisions, all as a natural outflow of your assumed state. This is the true meaning of the phrase, "the signs follow." They do not precede. The outer actions are not the cause of your success, but the effect of your inner transformation. They are the shadow cast by the light of your imagination. Let me give you another example from my own life to illustrate this principle. When I first began giving lectures on these truths, I had a deep desire to reach a wider audience. I imagined myself speaking to large crowds, sharing these teachings with people from all walks of life. Now, I did not go out and frantically advertise or promote myself. I did not strain or struggle to make this happen. Instead, I lived from the end. In my imagination, I saw myself standing before packed auditoriums. I felt the joy of sharing these truths with eager listeners. I experienced the satisfaction of knowing my message was reaching and transforming lives. And then, my friends, the outer world began to conform to this inner conviction. Opportunities began to present themselves. Invitations to speak at larger venues started to come in. People began to spread the word about my lectures. All of this happened naturally, effortlessly, as a result of my inner work. This is the power that lies within you, my dear friends. This is the creative force of your own wonderful human imagination. It is not limited by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. It is bound only by your capacity to believe in the reality of your imaginal acts. Now, let us address another common concern that arises when people first encounter these teachings. Many worry about the ethical implications of this practice. They ask if I can imagine anything into being. What's to stop me from using this power for selfish or harmful ends? To this, I say, the very nature of this practice precludes its misuse. For when you truly enter into the state of your wish fulfilled, when you fully embody the consciousness of your desire, you are aligning yourself with the highest good. You see, my friends, at the deepest level of our being, we all desire the same things: love, joy, peace, fulfillment. When you imagine from this place of your highest self, you naturally align with these universal desires. Your imaginings become not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of all. Moreover, as you practice this art of imagining, you will find your desires naturally refining themselves. What once seemed important may fall away as you connect more deeply with your true self. Your imaginings will become purer, more aligned with your highest good and the highest good of all. This is the true meaning of the phrase, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." As you align your consciousness with your highest self, with the creative power of the universe, everything else falls naturally into place. Now, my friends, I want to address a question that often arises when I share these teachings. People ask, "But Wayne, what about the suffering in the world? What about those who are oppressed, impoverished, or ill?" Are you saying they have imagined this for themselves? This is a profound question, and it deserves a thoughtful answer. First, let me be clear, this teaching is not about blame or judgment. It is about empowerment. It is about recognizing the creative power that lies within each of us and learning to use it consciously. You see, most people are not aware of the power of their imagination. They do not realize that their inner assumptions and beliefs are shaping their outer reality. They are imagining unconsciously, often focusing on what they fear or what they lack, rather than on what they desire. Moreover, we are all influenced by the collective consciousness of our society, our culture, our time. Many of the limitations and sufferings we experience are the result of collectively held beliefs and assumptions. But here's the wonderful truth. Just as we have imagined these conditions into being, we can imagine something different. We can change our individual consciousness, and in doing so contribute to changing the collective consciousness. This is the true meaning of being the change you wish to see in the world. By focusing on yourself, by imagining a better reality for yourself, you are not being selfish. You are contributing to the elevation of all humanity. You are adding your light to the sum of light. Remember, my friends, consciousness is the only reality. The world you see around you is a reflection of consciousness, both individual and collective. By changing your consciousness, by persistently imagining a better reality, you are literally changing the world. This work of imagination is not separate from practical action in the world. Rather, it informs and inspires that action. When you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally taking the steps that lead to its manifestation. You will be guided by an inner wisdom that far surpasses mere intellect. So I urge you, my dear friends, to take up this practice with all seriousness. Make it the central focus of your life. Every night as you fall asleep, and every morning as you wake, enter into the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel it, live it, believe in it with all your heart. Throughout your day, whenever you have a quiet moment, return to this state. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. Let it become the new normal for you. For what you persist in imagining, you must eventually experience. Remember, the time it takes for your imaginal act to become your physical reality is directly proportionate to the naturalness of the state. The more natural it feels to you, the more quickly it will manifest. This is why persistence is key. You are forming new neural pathways, new patterns of thought and feeling. In closing, I want to remind you of this fundamental truth. You are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness is the creative force that shapes your reality. By focusing on yourself and your dreams, by living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you are stepping into your true power as a creative being. Go forth then and create boldly. Imagine lovingly. Live fully in the consciousness of your fulfilled desires. For in doing so, you are not only transforming your own life, but contributing to the transformation of all humanity. You are fulfilling your divine purpose as a co-creator in this magnificent universe. Thank you, and may your imagination guide you to the fulfillment of all your dreams.